Good morning, church. It is good to be with you today. Today we're in Mark chapter 2, and we have a question about fasting. Now the disciples and the Pharisees were fasting. People came and asked him, "Why do John's disciples and the Pharisees' disciples fast, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus said to them, "The wedding guests cannot fast while the groom is with them, can they? As long as they have the groom with them, they cannot fast. But the time will come when the groom will be taken away from them, and then they will fast on that day. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. Otherwise the new patch pulls away from the old cloth, and a worse tear is made. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is lost, as well as the skins. No, new wine is put into fresh wineskins." So we're getting the idea here. Jesus is expressing two separate realities to us. Number one, that while he is with them, it should be considered a time of celebration. As rarely as it's seen that way, he's always fighting against opposition and defending why he came, trying to teach and to explain and help them understand. But he's saying, look, it's like the consummation of a wedding here. Jesus, as God, has come into our world. He's Emmanuel, God with us. How can you fast? Because fasting is a sign of mourning and of petitioning. And their petitions have been answered. God heard their cries, and he's come to turn the page onto history. And so the next reality he's expressing is it's not like the old system is just getting a patch or an update. Something completely new is taking place. And that's what we should think too. It's not like God has come to just put a Band-Aid on our old ways of sin. He didn't come just to cover up a little bit, because that would result in even more of a catastrophe or the whole thing being destroyed. The old and the new are incompatible. And we need to think of ourselves as being completely made new. The old completely put to death, completely done away with, and that something dramatically new has come. How new is it? When Paul receives a question about what the resurrection is going to be like, what kind of flesh will we have, what kind of bodies will we have, he declares that to be a foolish question. He says that's foolish because how can the seed ever even imagine what the plant will become? How can a grain of wheat identify what the kind of thing it will be? They're so remarkably different. So don't cling at all to that old way of life. Rejoice today of what God has done, and I would encourage you, take today to enjoy that God has made you new, has put a new heart and a new mind into you. Just sit at the Savior's feet, delight in what he has done, because it is truly a time of celebration.